All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And tonight, we are going no intro. I am not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. I got 1 hour tonight. And I know that's much less than what we normally go with, but I got family in town. And the space that I use is really close to the spare room. So I got to be courteous. So 1 hour, tonight, your calls. I'm holding everybody to the 5 minute time limit. It's the way that it's got to be. We're going to get through these calls rapid fire. The link is in the description. We should get through about 10 calls. Right now, I've only got 3 or 4 waiting. So we're going to jump right into it. If you want to get your takes off, now is the time to do it. Like I said, link is in the description. Let's get it cracking. Let me switch this over real quick. Hold up. While we're waiting for this overlay switch over, sounds like Compton just signed with Denver. Mostert is a Miami Dolphin. So I'm sure those things will come up at some point throughout tonight's show. But let's start off Korean 49er. Then we're going to go that Niner guy and Mav. What's up, Korean 49er? How you doing? Oh, why can't I hear you? I got nothing. You get out and get back in again. Yeah. All right, that Niner guy, we're coming to you.
Jesse, what's up,
Hey,
buddy?
hey, man, you seem fired up backstage. You got a lot on your mind, it sounds like.
So
What
much
is
on my
going on?
mind. Yeah,
Yeah?
I feel like I'm living Groundhog Day.
Okay. Explain this.
Every time any quarterback, any player, the 49ers are very interested in getting them, but they never get them. So stop bringing it up, everyone. It's not gonna happen. I feel like Mugatu. I'm taking crazy pills. We literally just did this for a month about Rodgers and Brady. It didn't happen. Watson's not gonna happen. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. Not gonna happen. Stick to the plan. They have a plan. Stick to it. I trust them a lot more than I did a year ago. Stick to the plan. It's really frustrating, man, because I don't know. I mean, you deal with this a lot, but I just feel like why is everyone so fired up to just immediately go get one of these guys? I don't get it.
Well, here's the problem is that the 49ers, I was just talking about this with Grant. They have done this to themselves because they haven't just come out and said Trey Lance is our guy. He's the starter of this team. He's the guy. If they did that, they could put all these rumors to rest. So, I'm sure they have reasons for not doing that. Obviously, they're trying to leverage the Jimmy G thing, telling teams that, hey, we're fine bringing him back. He could be the starter, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, you leave the gate open for these rumors to happen when you don't announce Trey Lance is your guy and back him fully, openly, and in the public.
And that's fair. I mean, I feel like John Lynch kind of said as much as he wanted to about it at the combine. Now, granted, you're right. They haven't just said, no, he's our guy. We're moving forward with him. And I get the reason why, right? They want to keep the illusion that they'll keep Jimmy unless they get something somewhat decent. But it's just, I'm just over it. I'm over all the news of it's news of nothing. It's just, it's nothing's, they're not going to go big in free agency. And I don't really have a problem with that. Right now, they're the only team in the NFC West that's doing anything. All their star players are still on the roster. I don't understand why people are freaking out saying that we're not getting any better. We are getting better because this team was a couple plays away from the Super Bowl. Granted, there are holes still to fill? Absolutely. But we're one day into free agency. They have a lot of time to fill them. There's a lot of safeties available. I like your and Grant's take that we need a free safety, not a strong safety, because I feel like they're going with Ward. They're gonna go a lot more press man, and they're gonna have Ward constantly over the tight end, getting someone who could be in the middle of the field with Warner, with everyone. They want to run robbers, they want to run just different cover one variations. I'm good with that, but to say that they're not doing anything, they're not getting better because they're not signing all these old guys who are getting a lot of money is crazy to me. It's absolutely nuts. Chandler Jones, great player, but he's 31 years old.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay $17 million for a guy 2 years ago who just tore his ACL. I mean, J.C. Jackson alone, like the Patriots letting him go is a bit of a red flag. I feel like we could have got him, but it's not the end of the world. The Niners I will say they've had a plan. First thing they did, they got a press man corner. Second thing they did, they addressed special teams, which was a huge red flag on this team last year. They got a linebacker who is a special teams player.
Yeah, listen, here's the thing, and this is why I think, again, 49er fans should be focusing on the 49ers, right? Like, that's what we root for. But if you look across the landscape of the NFC West, everybody else is getting worse, right?
Yeah.
And the 49ers haven't really gotten that much worse, if at all. Again, they've upgraded the quarterback position, Trey Lance. They've, big time upgraded the cornerback room with Charvarius Ward, right? Okay, yeah, you let a rotational defensive tackle go, somebody who I like a lot. But at the same time, Kinlaw hopefully can provide something. You just drafted multiple interior offensive linemen last year. You can draft more if need be. Tomlinson going for the price that we expected, 12 to 14 million a year. There's no surprise there. So to me, like, that's not getting worse. Like, the 49ers haven't gotten any worse, in my opinion, but the rest of the NFC West certainly has.
Yeah, and I agree. I know you got to go in a minute, but no, I'm with you 100%. But everyone just seems to be freaking out. It's like, guys, calm down. Like, let them have a full off season, not just 4 days of Rappaport and Schefter going crazy on the AFC, just signing all these old guys, because that's what's going on right now.
AFC's going ham right now. I'm not going to lie. The AFC is going to be fun to watch. All the talent has left the NFC, is in the AFC. It is wide open for the 49ers to win a Super Bowl. That, if nothing else, should excite the hell out of everybody. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well. Just be patient, people. Stop with the quarterback rumors and just let them fill the roster out and do their job.
I feel it. Yeah. It's overreaction season. You know that.
Oh, for sure. But this was just annoying.
Have a good one, man. Thanks for calling in.
See you, buddy.
Later. All right. Let me get to this one real quick. Edgardo says, looking fresh. Hey, I appreciate it. Somebody made a comment about my hair. I know I'm always wearing a hat. You probably expected me to be bald under this thing. I do have a full head of hair, contrary to popular belief. I just like wearing hats. It's just kind of my shtick. So I appreciate you. Let me show you some love, and I'll get in Korean 49er here. Hold up. And there we go. Korean 49er, what's up, my man?
I'm good. Can you hear me now?
I got you. This is 2 weeks in a row. What is going on, StreamYard?
Who knows, man? To me, this offseason has told me more about what I've already thought since last offseason. Jimmy has no trade value. To me, you're trying to sell me a turd sandwich, and last time I checked, no one's taken a bite or wanted that turd sandwich. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Yeah. Listen, you said it, not me. It's getting rough, man. Like, it's hard to see the vision the longer this thing plays out, knowing that the more dominoes that fall into place, eventually you could be out with nothing. Like, there's a chance that you get nothing because you waited too long when you could have had something. You had teams in Pittsburgh, Washington, and then Pittsburgh and Indianapolis that were clearly interested. Many reports out there. You could have played them against each other, went to them both. Hey, I got the Steelers that are interested. Give me your best offer. I got the Colts that are interested. Give me your best offer. Made a trade and gotten rid of them then. What that would have netted, I don't know. But at this point, unless Cleveland's really in play here, you don't have anybody to play against themselves. Like, you can't play two teams against each other. How are you going to drive up the value more now than you did last week? That's my question.
Exactly. I mean, Cleveland is letting go of Baker Mayfield one way or the other, and we still have Jimmy when Trey needs to get as many reps and snaps as he can so he can have a chance this upcoming season.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody said Trent Brown back to the 49ers. I think that's probably a hope. He's visiting Seattle, oddly enough, I believe tomorrow. So that's a possibility.
So, yeah, but I also thought that Lakin would leave, and that, to me, that was a reality. I also saw that DJ Reed went to, I believe, didn't he go to the Jets?
Yeah, Jets, I believe. Yep.
So that would have been a nice option, but they got Charvarius Ward. The only thing is, if you got the defense that gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback, you need to get someone who can get takeaways, fumbles,
Yeah.
or receptions.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're 100% right about that. Uh, somebody wants to know my hair product. I actually use fiber, Crew Fiber. So there you go.
So right there, I think unless they somehow can leverage a way to get a player or two who can get more takeaways, I kind of see this team as kind of like last season's team. Maybe you'll get to the possibly get the championship game again, but are you going to have enough to take you to the Super Bowl and actually find a way to win it?
Well, let me ask you this: who, like, out of the guys that are out there right now, like who would you want realistically? Like Julio Jones just got cut. Would you go after Julio Jones? Is that somebody you'd be interested in?
I
No?
like to see them go for someone a little younger and less injury prone. I mean,
That's fair.
but the injuries haven't worn down yet, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the cost of getting Austin Hooper would be, since I believe he's getting a post June 1 cut from the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a name that, I believe he's played a fair amount of games and hasn't gotten too many injuries yet. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more two tight end formations with Kyle's offense. Anyone who can help get open in the middle of the field for Trey, that's what we could always use.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they were in on Hooper a couple of years ago, right? Like they were. I don't know if were they using that to drive down the price of Kittle, or who knows what was going on there. But he did come from Atlanta. He is pretty young, and he's somebody that they certainly could go after. Pairing him with Kittle would be absolutely amazing. Tight ends are usually a young quarterback's best friend. I think that's a really good option. Yes, if you can have both, for sure.
So I remember when New England had, before Aaron Hernandez had his issues and Gronk, they were very tough to stop when they had the two tight end attack. And I think Baltimore was also very tough also. And that's where I see it kind of going back to, is having tight ends and fullbacks and a little bit less spread.
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you again, having check down options for a young quarterback, it's a great way to get him going, get his confidence going. But I don't know. Like, I also do worry that Kittle's not going to be getting a lot of burn with Trey Lance. I feel like Trey Lance is really going to utilize the outside parts of the field. And, Kittle's always good, right? But is he going to be utilized as much as he was with Garoppolo or a Nick Mullins? I don't know. I think he might be the odd man out, to be real with you, because I think Ayuk's going to have a hell of a breakout season.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So, all right, Jesse, I'll let you go since you got the 5-minute timer. So,
all right, brother. Have a good one.
Yep, you too.
All right. We're going to bring in Mav. Let me get rid of Korean 49er here. There we go. Boom. Actually, you know what? There's I'm going to bring this guy in next. Debo Beta. Hell of a avatar he's got. He's actually got a moving avatar, a GIF playing. It looks like Steph Curry hitting a three. That's pretty dope. What's up, Mav? How are you?
Yo, what's good?
How you feeling about things, man?
Listen, I think the best way to describe how I feel right now is that I'm not worried or like panicking. I'm just disappointed. Like I think that all 49er fans can agree that we're disappointed, and that's okay to say, because you see all these other people making trades. You see the trades, like what the Raiders did was unbelievable. You look at other people that have signed really big name free agents, and the 49ers have done absolutely nothing. I can't describe you how many times I've refreshed my Twitter page just hoping that the 49ers have did something, and zero news has came out. I think that the true problem is I'm not even really disappointed because of lack of free agents. I'm disappointed because we haven't moved Jimmy Garoppolo yet.
I think that's it. That's it.
And
Yep.
why I'm disappointed, I don't even care about the time frame. I think the true problem is that you had this excellent opportunity to trade him, and it was in between that Carson Wentz deal and whatever was going on with Deshaun Watson. In between that time period, you had a few days, and that would have been the perfect opportunity to send him somewhere else. So now we have to wait even further. And now the question is, imagine if we have to release him and you did all this for absolutely nothing. And I just can't deal with that. Like, if it comes out that Jimmy Garoppolo has been released, I can deal with stuff like missed draft picks from John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan's tenure, but I just can't deal with just utter incompetence that they have shown so far in this process.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Jamal, if you're still watching, man, call in. I will have time for you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. But yeah, man, I love the dad take there. Like that's how my dad always got me when I was a kid. He'd be like, Jess, listen, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm like, oh, dude, really? You're just disappointed in me? That's the worst thing you could say. Yeah, I feel it, man. It is a bit disappointing, the fact that Jimmy's still on this team. And I think that's really where, like, when you said that, that was bingo for me, because I'm looking at it saying 49ers kind of let guys go that we expected to leave. Like, no surprise there. Charvarius Ward's a pretty damn good player. Probably a bigger ticket item than a lot of people even possibly expected. But the fact that Jimmy's still here, that's the one that's getting in everybody's cross. So it's leaving things open to interpretation, and that's not at all where we want to be. We just want to hear it's Trey time. Let's keep it pushing. And unfortunately, we're not there yet.
Well, and I think why people are kind of annoyed is that I'm tired of talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. All the stuff that you've usually hit, like in the terms of what you want the 49ers to do, like stuff like the draft and all that's just being overshadowed because there's just this one guy that the 49ers just won't remove yet. I'm tired of talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance and Deshaun Watson. Let's talk about other pieces around the team other than quarterback.
It's tough though, man. Like when this is kind of hanging over, it's tough to talk about anything else. And you're right. I mean, this is what, the third offseason that Jimmy Garoppolo has dominated 49er news. It's like, it's time to move on, man. Let's just get it going. I feel it.
And then lastly, to close off, I just want to shut down all Deshaun Watson trade rumors. Can we please stop? Like, okay, just using logic, let's say that this was possible. The 49ers would have to give up, you're saying George Kittle, Trey Lance, and picks? If I'm the Texans, why do I want George Kittle? He's an old tight end, is going to be he's going to be hitting 30 in the next few years. For a young rebuilding team, George Kittle doesn't provide anything to you. If they ask for anything, it would be Fred Warner, it would be Nick Bosa, or one of the cornerstones that were Deebo Samuel, cornerstones of the 49ers that you would not want to trade. Secondly, again, Trey Lance, unless there's like something we don't know about Trey Lance so far, there's no difference in how much we know about Trey Lance than we do about Davis Mills because we've only seen him play 10 quarters of football. So there's no reason to try and go out and get Trey Lance in a situation where you have a young rookie QB that was drafted later, which means he's cheaper, and you know just as much about him as you know about the 49ers quarterback. So I just want to shut all that down. I know I'm getting close to 5 minutes. So I appreciate the call. Please don't panic and just hope for the best, please.
I'm with it, man. The 49ers are in a pretty damn good spot. Like, it's okay. I get frustrated too when you're not signing the guys that we hoped for. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. All right, we're gonna go Shardal, Aaron, Mike, and then Angel. So here we go. What's up, Shardal?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, Jesse. Really love all your whole YouTube channel and all your content that you make on this platform.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Shardal.
So I want to say, I can clearly see why Drew Lock is going to be the next QB for the Seahawks in at the start of the 2022 season. Is because he was a 42nd overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft. He started his career strong, winning 4 of his first games. His recent struggles have been turnover problems. He threw 18 touchdowns to 17 interceptions in his last 16 starts, coinciding with a 4-12 start. Although knowing that Coach Pete Carroll is the coach Pete Carroll, Locke will likely play in a more conservative offensive system with the coach who values taking care of the football. And I think that he will lead this team in the right direction, and they probably might win a Super Bowl with Drew Lock. I'm not saying they'll win a Super Bowl,
come on. No, are you a Seahawks fan now, Shardo?
No,
What's going on, man?
I'm not saying that, but I'm happy that the Seahawks got him because I didn't want him to come to the 49ers. Like everybody was hyped up
Well,
that
that's a good point.
Drew Lock should come to the 49ers. I don't think that was the right move. I mean, I'm happy that we didn't get him because everybody was hyped up that bring Drew Lock to the Bay, bring Drew Lock to the Bay. It's gonna be a great signing. I mean, I was not really happy for that. So I'm happy that he went to a team that that respects him. Because whenever it comes to a quarterback, it always comes to a quarterback going to a team which is going to respect him, right?
Yeah, I think, for Drew Lock, obviously Drew Lock, I don't remember it being a big push to him come to the 49ers, but I know that 2 years ago, there was a lot of people that were talking about Lock and some other quarterbacks coming to the 49ers. I'm certainly glad that he never ended up on the 49ers. He's just one of these journeyman guys that, maybe he can be decent if everything is right around him. But at this point, yes, he's on Seattle. It looks like he's possibly going to be the starter for this year. And, good for Seattle. I think that means 2 easy wins for the 49ers. What do you think?
I think it was the right move for them to send him here because it's great for him because he gets that start on a new franchise, which is always great for a quarterback who's going in that new direction on a new team. But it's definitely gonna be a little bit unusual because Russell Wilson was the QB of this team, and he was always the QB of this team for the years for the years. Having Drew Lock on Seattle would be kind of like it'll get Seahawks fans used to having Drew Lock play on the Seahawks and not Russell Wilson. So I don't. How do you think they're gonna get used to it? Because at first it's gonna be hard, but then they're gonna get used to it.
Can,
It's
can I
gonna
be can I
fit
be
in.
can I be 100 with you right now, Shardo?
Yeah.
I hope Seattle sucks for many years to come. And I think they will. And I'm excited about that. I'm rooting for Drew Lock as a person. I'm sure he's a fine guy. But now that you're in Seattle, I do not care about the Seattle Seahawks. I hope that they are terrible. I hate the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm a Niner fan, man. So
So
that's the way I
do
feel
you
about
think
it.
this was a because because the trade that everybody was hoping that would happen would Jimmy Garoppolo would go to the Broncos and then Drew Lock would come to San Francisco. That's the trade that everybody was hoping to happen, but unfortunately that didn't happen this year. That was everybody was like so hopeful that would go down.
What, for Drew Lock to be the backup here? I don't think
Yeah,
people would have been too mad about that. Yeah, I don't think people would have
no,
been
I'm
too
saying
mad
I
about
know
that.
my thing was that the trade that I was saying is that send Jimmy Garoppolo to Denver and then
Mhm.
send Drew Lock to San Francisco so they would he that would have that trade that would happen.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I think people were definitely talking about that early on, but obviously Russell Wilson ended up over there. He's out of Seattle. I think that's probably the most important thing as a 49er fan.
But I'm happy that that wherever a quarterback goes, it's always good for them because you wish them the best of luck on whichever team they're on, and uh it's great, but I'm not really a big fan of Drew Lock, but I was just looking at the trade and it was really kind of fascinating that they would send him to the Seahawks and they wouldn't send him anywhere else. They weren't thinking of any other teams that would want to sign him. So I was thinking it was very surprising that he chose that team to be on rather than there's all these wonderful teams out there that he could have picked from and he didn't pick all those great teams. There's Cleveland out there, there's
Well,
Pittsburgh, there's New
let's hold
York.
up a second, Chardell. Hold up a second, because he was a part of a trade. He didn't really have a choice, right? Like that was a deal that was negotiated as a part of Russell Wilson going to Denver. I appreciate that you care a lot for these guys, right? Like you look at it from a personal aspect. I think that's pretty cool of you. And the fact that he is landing in a spot where he has a second chance at life, I think that's probably pretty cool for him. But It is 5 minutes. I'm only here for an hour tonight, Chardal. I got to get to the next one. I appreciate you for calling in. Am I still number 2 behind you?
You're still number 2 behind me.
There we go. That's all I needed to hear. You have a good night, Chardal.
It's always great calling in your show, and next time I'll definitely try to call as much as I can, because I really love calling in your show. I really love sharing my insights on the 49ers, and I love to hear your insights as well.
Thank you, Chardal. I appreciate you. Have a good night, brother. Chardal, man, what a good kid. All right, Aaron, 49er first takes. Then we're going to go to Mike, and then we're going to go to Trez, a.k.a. half of TNT. I like this. All right. What's up, Aaron? How you doing, man?
I'm okay. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind? How you feeling about all this stuff? I know we just talked a week ago. We just had a show together about a week ago, and it seems like so much has happened since then. How you feeling about all this craziness?
I think that this is one of the biggest fumbles the organization has had in quite a long time with this whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation. I've never seen such a mediocre quarterback take control of like everything that's going on, free agency, Trey Lance, everything. It's just it's gotten to the point with me, like everybody else says, where I have to leave Twitter sometimes and not look at it, because it's a constant reminder of how bad they're fumbling this situation. It's I was on Jay and the Bay stream the other day, and I was pretty hot about everything, and then the fact with free agency, nobody's saying they have to sign all the top guys. That's not the point. But in the 90s, when we were competing for Super Bowls, you have to show your fan base that you have to sometimes make decisions that are going to put you over the top. Instead of being the bridesmaid, you're actually going to get to the dance and maybe have a chance to win it. And they don't. They have a lot of talent. Yes, they've done a good job of drafting and rewarding guys, but. And I'm not saying you have to go after all the best free agents, but there's sometimes, man, if you got a chance at somebody like what do you call him? The guy, the safety from who played on the Chiefs, Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu, yeah.
Yeah, or, sign another pass rusher, because the draft is such a crapshoot. And sometimes I know the Niners, they pride themselves on scouting and drafting well, especially in the mid to late rounds. But that's so much pressure. And I think sometimes if you have a chance to get somebody in free agency, you got to take that shot. And this whole inactivity thing that they do every single year. And I know like they made the signing of Tavarius Ward. That's great. But like, they have some holes on this team that I feel like they put so much pressure on themselves to make the draft their end all be all. And sometimes to me, it's stressful. And again, with this Jimmy Garoppolo situation, man, I cannot believe that they overplayed their hand and now they're paying for it. So,
yeah, you know what? I think that they did overplay their hand, but here's where they're getting lucky. All of a sudden, Cleveland is in the mix. Like this whole Baker Mayfield writing the letter, the immature thing that he did, which no surprise coming from Baker. That was the best thing that could happen to the 49ers. As long as Deshaun Watson does not end up there. If Deshaun Watson goes there and Baker ends up in Indy, the 49ers are dead in the water. But if that doesn't happen, and I think there's a good chance that doesn't happen, the Cleveland Browns are now fully in on Jimmy Garoppolo. They're looking to upgrade, if nothing else, in the maturity department. And Jimmy Garoppolo certainly can bring that, right? Like Jimmy Garoppolo was in a situation where he was a lame duck quarterback all year. You didn't hear a peep from him talking bad about the organization, feeling sorry for himself. He just put his head down and he was a grinder. If nothing else, you have to respect that about Jimmy. That is the exact opposite of what Baker Mayfield's just done. So I think Cleveland has given them new life here. If Cleveland didn't enter the fray, I would be extremely, extremely concerned. And I agree. I think that they did overplay their hands, but Cleveland just backdoored right in and now they've got new life.
Yeah, it's I'm tired of Jimmy. I'm tired of it all. Like I said, for a mediocre quarterback who's been carried, he's done his job. He's played well in stretches, but we got to be completely honest. You're not a big fan of Jimmy. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy. So the fact that we're still dealing with this is it's stressful. I mean, Raheem going to Miami and some of these other moves, I'm not completely depressed over them because I think the Niners have drafted well, and hopefully some of the guys that we don't know about will come in and step up, because that's how you kind of retain a winning, like a winning window, is by drafting well, letting guys walk, and then having cheaper contracts. That's how you keep, like, that's what New England has done over the years. So that I'm cool with, but make some, I just want to see, I would love to see them make one other big move in free agency, just so they're not so much in the draft, the pressure of the draft and having to hit and make all these picks and having them count. So I don't know.
Yeah, man, I think that would be ideal. And unfortunately, if the 49ers had let go of Jimmy last year, sat on that 25 million, they would have 50 million to play with right now, because you get to roll over money and you get to double it up basically. That would have been pretty nice right about now, having $50 million to play with. They didn't do that. And to your point, this is now what, the third straight offseason that Jimmy G is dominating the news. It is a bit tiresome. I wish, it's like, it brings a lot of emotion out of people, good or bad, whether you're for Jimmy or not. And it definitely drives up content. But to me, it's like more than that. Like, as a 49er fan, man, I'm just ready to know that it's Trey time. And let's start talking about how we fill out the rest of this roster. That's just me, though.
Definitely love your hair, and I just want to say props to your channel. You're lapping me once again, so I have to put out some more content, because no, I'm just playing.
You're the best, Aaron. I appreciate you, man. You have a good night, brother. Right, brother.
Have a good night. See you.
All right, let's get to. I'm going to call him Notorious Mike Miller. I think that's the new name for him. Notorious Mike. Maybe I should call you like Stone Cold Mike Miller. There we go. He likes that one better. There we go. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Okay. The $50 million ideal, I said that. Jack Hammer said I was an idiot. Grant Cohn said I was an idiot to double up on his 25 mil. I was the first to say that over a year and a half ago that we should have did that. Okay, now my points. Did you see the three big signings tonight the Niners did?
What?
Chandler Jones going out of our division.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes,
going out of our division. And Mr. IR going to Miami. Three great big signings for the Niners. We ain't got to face them no more.
No, you are right about that. I definitely want to say that everybody again has got their eyes set on the 49ers, as you should. We're 49er fans. But the fact that Chandler Jones and Von Miller are out of this division,
Jones used to kill us. That's the reason we lost Arizona so much.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It ain't because other people plays. It's because of him. He killed us every time we ever played him. He dominated.
Yeah, he did.
And other than that, I want to say, Michael Lombardi, right?
Yes.
Pretty trustworthy guy.
Yeah, Michael Lombardi. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, last night I watched him on YouTube, and he said just as soon as the Watson domino falls, the Jimmy G fire will start at that point in time. That's what everybody's waiting on.
Well, here's the only thing that I'll say about that, Mike. And I agree with you, by the way. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But I feel like this is the third or fourth quarterback, quote unquote, domino that we've been waiting for to fall, right? Like a week ago, we're like, okay, now that the Wentz thing has fallen, boom, here we go. Like, it's time for Jimmy. Like, we keep kind of hearing that this is the next domino. What
do Redskins really get, though? A dime store, dumpster, garbage quarterback, and they're going to be in the quarterback market again next year. And that's what a few other teams are doing. Like Sherdal said with Seattle, if they start Drew Lock, thank you for the 2 wins. I'll go ahead and check them off for the next 10 years, for the free wins, because that's Drew Lock would make Seattle a top 2 pick in the NFL draft next year if they start him. There's no way in the world they go into the season with him. It's just like Jimmy G. He will get it because he does win games, and he's not a crybaby idiot like in Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Baker Mayfield, man. It could always be worse, guys. Baker Mayfield could be the quarterback of the 49ers right now. So
do you remember when Jimmy got traded to us? Cleveland offered 2 first-round picks, and I think it was a 3rd-round pick for Jimmy. And Belichick said, I ain't trading no damn pick, nobody, to my old team that screwed me over, basically. So there's a history with them and Jimmy. I ain't saying we're going to get the first or the 13th overall pick, but, at this point, I don't care if it's, a second, just as long as it's not a fourth, like you said, I'm happy.
yeah, for sure. No, listen, I agree with you. At this point, though, let me ask you this, because this is kind of my thought. You feel like the 49ers holding back as much as they have on doing this trade, that they've put more pressure on themselves to get more out of this?
No. They're being stone cold, like you called me earlier.
next time you come on, I'm going to have the broken glass thing.
And I'm sorry, there is no more quarterbacks out there. Let's say Atlanta gets him. What is New Orleans going to go with what they had, Mr. ACL, or the slice playmaker that they signed that they don't like? There's a reason why they're going after Deshaun Watson. They're not happy with the quarterback situation they have. Carolina's not happy with the quarterback situation they've got. There's going to be teams that are going to look at Jimmy. You know why? Because they want to make the playoffs. And what does a head coach say in Carolina's worst nightmare? Getting fired because you don't make the playoffs. What does Jimmy can give them? Maybe a playoff berth.
Yeah, possible.
That's what they're looking at. I mean, do I want to keep making $5 million, $10 million a year as a head coach, or do I want to hit the streets? Yeah. Job security. That's what's going to save Jimmy and the Niners. Job security for another team.
Yeah, well, listen, I think Cleveland's in that situation. I think obviously the Saints aren't because they've got a new coach, but the Panthers are. Washington was. That's why I felt like they really were the perfect spot. Indianapolis certainly is. So, as long as one of these three teams is in on it.
Tapped out because they're not patient enough to get Jimmy. That's why they tapped out and went the route they did.
Well, I also think there might have been some truth to Jimmy saying he didn't want to play there. Like, I think that's a possibility.
And the best thing? At 1 p.m. today, he no longer has a say-so.
That's true.
That's going to make a huge difference. He has no say-so. We can ship him to a hot dog making factory now if we want to.
He can go to Siberia. We can ship him to the Canadian Football League. Is that what you're saying?
Well, whatever. I wouldn't hurt him that bad. But yeah, he has no say-so. And as soon as the Deshaun Watson market falls, it's going to catch fire, like Michael Lombardi said. Think about it. It will. Because who else is out there? Andy Dalton? Do you want Andy that's bounced around from team to team?
It's going to be guys like Mariota, Jameis Winston, whatever. Like, it's, nobody special.
You still got Seattle. You still got Indy. You still got New Orleans. You still got Carolina. I'm sorry. There's not enough quarterbacks to fill all the empty spots.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing going for it. They just need two teams to be in.
Once the domino falls, so he's the last one. It's got to fire up.
Well, hopefully it falls sooner rather than later, because I'm tired of waiting. Like, I'll just say that.
I would say this weekend, but I'm always wrong. So, but
I think we've all been wrong on when we thought this thing was going to fall. That's why I stopped predicting. I'm just not going to do it. All right, Mike, have a good one, man.
Later.
All right, I'm going to bring in Trez. I don't think I know who Trez is. I appreciate him for calling in, but he has some people in the chat that are excited to hear from him. So he's got a little bit of a following. So that's got me a little excited. What's up, Trez?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
I got you, man. Yeah. What's up?
Thank you for taking my call. Well, the people know me from Rumbo Show. I'm one half of TNT from Rumbo Show. Yeah.
There you go. All right. I'm definitely familiar with Rumbo, so I appreciate you calling in over here. What's on your mind, man?
I was gonna say I'm not surprised about the Jimmy G debacle. I don't understand why everybody else is. When you look at the grand scheme of things, the only people that are delusional about Jimmy G is Jimmy G, quote unquote, fans that are on the base of the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. You said one thing that was most important. You said that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch hadn't got behind Trey Lance and say, hey, he's our starter. This is our guy. And you're right. You were so right about that. You put it on notice at that point. You know what I'm saying? This is our guy. This is who we're going with. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else is a little delusional, in my opinion. This debacle with Jimmy, I'm not surprised about it at all.
What do you think that they're putting more pressure on themselves by not trading Jimmy and letting this thing linger on? Like, the fan base is expecting that they get more for him?
No, I don't think they put more pressure on themselves. I think just the league itself is not delusional about Jimmy G. I mean, they know what they see. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes don't lie. And I mean, just look at what the other teams are doing. Washington, you see the route they took. You see the route Pittsburgh took. Nobody sold on Jimmy, but 49er fans who are Team Jimmy and Cal. I mean, it's not that hard. Jimmy is, to me, he's not. I mean, we did what we did with Jimmy, but he's not that guy. He's just not. So, I mean, the league is spoken. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, here's the thing, right? To your point, the league knows what they're watching. Like, this is what they do for a profession. So if you've got a couple guys who are on YouTube or in Twitter Spaces or whatever social media platform, and you're like, hey, I watch all 22 and I say these are where the flaws are with Jimmy. You think that these guys don't know that? You think that they're listening to people on ESPN talk about how much of a winner he is? Do you think they care about any of that? No, they don't.
No.
And unlike some of these other guys that have gotten traded in the past, Trez, who maybe you could say, all right, well, we're getting a young quarterback. You know, in the case of the Darnold trade, we're getting a young quarterback who was with a crappy franchise. We feel like we can turn him around. Jimmy Garoppolo is 30 years old and is playing under arguably the best offensive mind in football. Who is looking at that saying, oh man, if we get Jimmy, he's going to perform way better here than he did under Kyle Shanahan? I don't think there's really anybody in the league that is that arrogant.
And that's such a great point right there, what you just made right there. Because, I mean, I want to see how well Jimmy performs somewhere else outside of Kyle Shanahan's offense, because I think he's going to really show his hand. You know what I'm saying? And then Jimmy, you kind of got to fault Jimmy in this situation too, because him and his agent, man, that for them to pull that stunt they pulled with the shoulder thing, the surgery at the last second, man, that led to a part of this too. You know, he got his hand in it, and for him to do us like that, and John them say, "Oh, we're gonna do right by Jimmy." First of all, y'all gotta understand this is a business. This is NFL business, and this is big boy business around this time of the year, and you got to conduct it as such. So for them to just be talking about we're gonna try to find the right place for Jimmy and all that, that's out the door, man. You know, you have to move on from the quarterback and get behind the quarterback that you went out here and you gave up all this draft capital for.
I have a question for you. Do you have good go-arounds with Rombo? Because I know he's a big Jimmy guy.
Oh yeah, we go at it with him. Yeah, me and Rombo, we go at it round and round about him. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. I mean, we don't win because of Jimmy. We win with Jimmy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the bottom line. You know, so
I feel it.
I'm sad to see Raheem Mostert go. You know, a lot of people saying, you know, they don't care. I do, because that speed, we're going to miss that speed. Raheem is a one-cut back, and I've never seen nobody get through the hole like Raheem behind this offense that Kyle Shanahan has in place. So I think we're going to miss that. Elijah, I hope he can hold up for the whole season next year. You know what I'm saying? He got to do a lot of conditioning, training in this offseason and get his body prepared for the upcoming season, but get stronger. But outside of that, man, I thank you for taking my call. But people shouldn't be surprised about this Jimmy G debacle. I mean, really, they shouldn't.
I feel you, man. I'm with you. I think that the writing was kind of on the wall, and I had hoped for a fourth that could turn into a third. And I think a lot of people were hoping for a first or second, and here we are. So great call, man. You can call in here anytime. You got a place.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Take
care.
All right, Jose, I'm coming to you, and then I'm going to go to Niner Empire, and I think that that's how we'll end it. So we got two more callers. Let's get it going. What's up, Jose? How are you?
Okay. Hi. How are you? You can hear me, right?
I got you. Yeah, I got you, man.
Perfect. I just wanna ask you some questions. I'm sorry for my English. Maybe.
No,
I hope
you're
it's
good,
clear
man. Go
enough.
ahead. No, you're good. I got you.
Do you think Jimmy G is going to be traded this offseason? Because I'm feeling like he's not going to. I don't know. I think he is going to be here, and I'm not sure that Kyle Shanahan would like to cut him.
Listen, man, I think the anxiety in the chat just rose tenfold. The blood pressure has gone through the roof with that comment. The possibility of Jimmy G coming back causes so much friction in this fan base. It would be an epic meltdown. Let me tell you that. I do think Jimmy will be traded, yes. But I also thought Jimmy would be gone by now. So at this point, I think anything is on the table. I don't know if you saw what John Lynch said at the scouting combine, but he did say that they have scenarios, including having Jimmy Garoppolo on this roster, and they are working through all of those scenarios. So I don't know, man. I hope not.
Yeah, that's actually I'm very worried about that. And also, if okay, let's say that Jimmy is going to be traded or cut, and he's not Niners anymore. Do you think Niners have a real chance to go to the Super Bowl with Trey Lance?
I do. Mainly because I think that the NFC has gotten a lot weaker. A lot of these really good players are going to the AFC, and that bodes very well for the 49ers. The 49ers have a very good team, and I think Trey Lance, even though he's learning, is just more dynamic than what Jimmy is. And I think he'll be slightly better for this team because he brings an added element of the run game as a part of his game. And so, yeah, I think they've got a chance. Am I expecting a Super Bowl? No. But I think they definitely have a shot to win a Super Bowl. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I at least I imagine them in the playoffs with Trey Lance.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And one final question?
Yeah.
What would be your best all-time Niners game as a fan? In my case, my favorite Niners game was the NFC Championship, but in the 90s, when they defeated the Dallas Cowboys when Deion Sanders was on the Niners team. That's definitely my best game all time for the Niners. But I'm curious, what would be yours?
Yeah, that's a great game. That's a great question, by the way. For me, it's actually going to be the catch two. Terrell Owens against the Green Bay Packers. So at that time, you know what, I was between like the ages of 12, 13, 14 years old. They had lost to the Packers. Remember the rivalry with the 49ers and Dallas was coming to an end, right? Green Bay kind of came out of nowhere and started taking the league by storm. Brett Favre's winning all these MVPs, and they had knocked the 49ers out of the playoffs, I believe, 3 straight years. So it was coming up on year 4 where they're about ready to do it again in Candlestick. Terrell Owens is having a horrible game. And then when he caught that game-winning touchdown over the middle, and not only that, like the moment was iconic. He's crying, they're celebrating, but the radio call, he caught it. He caught it. He caught it. I will never, ever forget that. A lot of people talk about the John Madden call, which was a great call, but the radio call is what gets me, man. I get chills just thinking about it. How I felt in that moment, how excited I was, even though it was just a wild card game. Yeah, I'll never forget that game. To me, that was my favorite game as a 49er fan. Yeah, favorite moment.
Yeah, that's which other game was so cool? The game when Theo made that celebration in the star of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, yeah. Terrell Owens gave us some good memories, man. Remember when he brought the Sharpie out too against Sean Springs in Seattle?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He brought us some good moments. He wasn't here for long, but man, he brought some good moments with him for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you a lot, man, for the call.
Absolutely, brother. You can call in anytime. I appreciate you. That was a good call, man. That was fun, bringing me down some memory lanes. And in a time like this where we're so frustrated with free agency, it's those memories that can kind of pull you out of a funk. With Jimmy Garoppolo still being on this damn roster right now. All right, Niner Empire DMV. This is a guy I haven't heard from in a while. Always appreciate his takes, his calls. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
What's up, Jesse?
How you been, man?
I've been all right. I mean, I've been working, taking care of my kids and everything. How's everything with you?
Good, man. Things couldn't be better personally. Obviously, as a 49er fan, a little frustrated with the Jimmy thing. But personally, everything's going great. God's blessed me. Can't be any better. So it's always good.
Yeah. I mean, with the whole Jimmy thing, I wanted him gone. I mean, a lot of people are mad, but the fan base is split. It's 50 that wants him to stay, 50 that doesn't, that wants him to go. But then you have a lot of the people that like Jimmy, they're saying that, well, before we had Jimmy, look what we had. But look who you comparing him to. You're comparing him to Brian Hoyer and Blaine Gabbert. Like, I mean, you're not comparing him to elite or even great quarterbacks that really ran the offense. So it's nothing to compare to. Like, that NFC Championship game, it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I would have rather him took the sack. We could have lived for 4th and 20. And then if we was going to lose, we lose. Him trying to get the ball to our best athlete, our best receiver. Instead, he's in the sack. He throws the ball. I guess he was trying to throw it away. And it tips off of Michael Hasey's hand, and then boom, it's an interception. So it's like, at this point, after that game, everybody was on the move mindset of, let's get rid of Jimmy G. Jimmy G should be getting moved. But he doesn't have a high draft stock. He doesn't have a high stock on these other teams. Like, a lot of teams are looking at him like we look at him. He's injury prone. He can only really be successful with key pieces in the offense to go well, with a good run game, with everybody playing almost perfect. So it's like you get to a point where I'm not shocked that he hasn't moved. I wanted him to be moved, but he has no value for real. You like him, like you said earlier, going to Cleveland would help. I mean, Baker Mayfield is doing what Baker Mayfield always does. Like, he didn't do anything different than what I thought he would do. To put out a farewell speech is basically saying, hey, I did everything I could do, but, I gave my all. Like, come on, man. Like, Odell Beckham proved that he could leave Cleveland, go to the Rams, and be a successful and contributor and win a Super Bowl. And now you looking at it with the people we signed. Okay, Ward, I looked at Ward, looked at film on Ward. Ward's not a bad corner.
No, not
He's
at all.
young. He's young. And they got him in 2018 off of a trade with the Cowboys. And he's been with them ever since. He had a little injuries last year, but he's not a bad pick. He could be a good piece to our corners. With Ward and Emmanuel Mosley, that could work out. Now, whether they bring back Jason Verrett, we'll see. Losing Raheem Mostert, you're going to miss him, but at the same time, you miss that speed, but he's injury prone. He's been injury prone for a while. His most successful year was 2019. If you think about it. After that, he was injury prone. He had a few good games, got injured. Come back this year, past year, first game, got injured. So with having him to spell our running backs, it would have worked, but we got to see what Trey Sherman can do. We have to see what our rookies can do. Like right now, Laken Tomlinson leaving, was you really going to pay Laken Tomlinson all that money to stay?
No, definitely. I mean, we saw that. Listen, we saw that coming the whole way through. 12 to 14 million is what we expected. We expected the 49ers wouldn't match that. I mean, that was just the going rate. We saw this coming.
Like and that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of fans have to understand that this is a business at the end of the day. We have to look at that. By us not moving Jimmy G, we don't have the money and salary cap to sign these big players that everybody wanted. Like, I wanted J.C. Jackson, but I looked at our salary and I was like, we can't afford him at the price that he went. We can't. Like, we really can't. And then you look at Tom Compton's gone. Okay, Tom Compton was a good, resourceful lineman, but was he a real contributor when we really needed him? He didn't start. Like, you got to see what Aaron Banks can do. So this is a perfect time to see what Aaron Banks can do. Got to put him at guard now. Like, we got to see if Alex Mack's going to come back. Then people were arguing about, well, we should go get Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu's going to be expensive. He's going to be expensive. I mean,
I
a
would
lot of
love
these
Tyrann
great.
Matthew, and I feel
I
like
would
they
love
could
it
have
too.
gotten him. But now that they've already signed Ward, I don't think you can have both. No, I don't
Yeah,
think it's realistic anymore.
you have to. In their mindset, what I'm thinking, they're trying to build in the draft, and the whole concept of getting Christian Watson. I was like, this will be hard to get Christian Watson. The numbers he put on that 40 and what he did in the Senior Bowl. When I was talking to my to one of my group members, it's gonna be hard to get him because he might not go past the 19 like in the first round because he has a lot of upside. He's big, he's fast, he's physical. You might have
Good
see the Eagles
blocker,
picking.
good
Good
route
blocker.
runner.
And it would be perfect for him to come to the 49ers to match him up with Trey. At this point right now, like I told you before when I called a long time ago, I wanted to start Trey from the beginning of last season and
sure.
let him go through his bumps, let him go through his bruises and become a pro like that. A lot of people were saying he will become a pro playing behind Jimmy, but what did he really learn from Jimmy? The most he learned from Jimmy is not to make mistakes at the wrong time. Like his statistics in the playoffs was horrible. But you have so many fans saying, man, we can run it back with Jimmy. How? Like, how can you? The Rams showed you stop the run, make Jimmy throw the ball. What did the Kansas City Chiefs show you in the Super Bowl? Stop the run, make Jimmy throw the ball. And it's bad when people go on press conference and say, we was glad they stopped running the ball. We was glad. We wanted the ball in Jimmy hands. And when you get to that point and you got a guy like Trey Lance we've seen he progressed from the Arizona game to the Texas game. He made one, he threw a pick in the Texas game and then he learned from it and then he got better as the game went on. That's what you want to see. Progression. We really didn't see progression in Jimmy. Yeah, he had a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, but look at the pieces that was around him that helped him get them fourth quarter comebacks. Look at the defense catching an interception in overtime to shut the Rams out from winning that game. Like, it's a lot of pieces that went into Jimmy winning. But remember, that's the concept. He just wins. But when he's not winning, what's the question? What's always the excuse? It's the defense. Well, the defense didn't stop this. How many times can the defense keep certain high-power offense to a certain amount of points and a certain amount of yardage? The defense played good against Cowboys, and Jimmy almost gave the game away. Like, it's too many times he has made these mistakes where that's the frustration with a lot of fans like us are saying he needed to be moved. But when you overvalue somebody, everybody doesn't have the same value like you think. Yeah, he's in house. You want something in return for him because what you gave up to get him. But that's not the value that everybody sees. Look at what the Commanders did. They went and got Carson Wentz. Really? You went and got Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz is really no different than Jimmy, even though Carson Wentz beat Jimmy on a Sunday night football game, but still, Carson Wentz is really not going to be doing anything for them. And like one of the callers said earlier, they're going to be looking for a quarterback next year. Then you go to the Rams, or you go to the Seahawks. Seahawks, they didn't pretty much go into a rebuild, so that helps us. But at the same time, they was trying to get Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is not going there. What does he get to build on? They even talking about moving Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. So he wouldn't want to go there. So we have to wait till where Deshaun Watson's going to go. And if I was Deshaun, and a lot of people are saying we should go get Deshaun Watson, I'm like, I would love to have him, but I have faith in what we drafted in Trey Lance. Let us see what this boy can do. Give him a chance. Just give him a chance to really play a whole season with the ones, go through a whole all season where he's the number one quarterback. As long as Jimmy's on the roster, Kyle's going to be pressured to be like, we should start him because of the locker room. But at the same time, what is it doing for us? It's going to make us stagnant again. It's a bad situation for all 49er fans. No matter how you look at it, how you turn it, we're not going to be able to get all these big name free agents that we really want. We got to think about we had to reconstruct the two people's contracts just to get under the cap. And then looking at D Ford, what, 3.5 sacks, 6 games, and he hasn't played in 2 years, pretty much. He gonna be Bobby Bodea. Well, he gonna be the Bobby Bodea of the 49ers. I really see that. Like, because we can't cut him. If we cut him, he gets a $15 million injury clause. Like right there, it's a tough situation. And the players that we had to let go, DJ Jones, we weren't gonna be able to pay him all that. And they're banking on, Javon Kinlaw coming back, filling up that role. So that's what you drafted him for. You drafted him in the first round to fill that role. So the people that we drafted, you now gonna see whether or not they can fill that role. With Tart, I guess we waiting to see how the market's gonna be, whether we bring Tart back or we go Hufanga in that position. And a lot of people say, he's not fast.
Listen, I think that the 49ers have shown kind of the plan that they've got this offseason. The fact that they weren't willing to pay Mostert $3 million to bring him back, I think that they're letting Tart, Verrett, Key, all these guys go out and test a little bit, come back to them and say, hey, this is what I'm going to make with another team. And they're deciding to fill this roster with a bunch of inexpensive guys. And going forward, whether that's guys that they're bringing back or that's guys that they're going to go bargain bin shopping for, that's the plan of the offseason. I think that's where we're at. But brother, I got to let you go, man. I'm at the hour. I've got family in town, so I got to get back with them. I appreciate you calling in. It's been a while since we talked. Good to hear from you. And
you too.
We'll see what happens with this Jimmy thing, man.
Okay, I'll be on the next call.
All right, bro. Later.
All right.
Y'all are killing me. I can't keep a straight face when you're in here with these boy band references. It cracks me up. You guys. Oh, that was so funny. You guys are too good. Too good. All right. Gary Dotson coming in says keeping Jimmy is choking off the entire team's bag. Yeah. Listen, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's not a big deal. You can rework these contracts. They've basically reworked outside of Jimmy Ward's contract. Most of the big ones they can do. There's not a lot more money to free up. And it is holding them back. I don't care how you slice it. I'm not saying by having Jimmy that you're missing out on some of these big name guys. Maybe these are guys they weren't going to go after anyways. But when you don't have 25 million for any team, you don't have 25 million that is sitting there. You can't find it. You can't use it. That hurts you no matter who you are. So yeah, that's a big chunk of money. Is it stopping them from signing big name free agents? Probably not. I don't think they were in on these guys anyways, but it certainly isn't helping things. They've got to figure it out. Hopefully this Watson thing, this Watson domino is the last domino and it falls quickly and they can get things figured out. But for right now, $25 million sitting there that can't be used. That doesn't help anybody by any means. And that's just where they're at. And you can't sell me otherwise. You really can't. But let me show you some love. Appreciate you, Gary. Listen, oh God, please tell me this is not true at all. Listen, it was a great show. It was very short. Got family in town, so I couldn't go too long tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for making me laugh with the boy band comments. Very, very funny. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I will be back tomorrow with my co-host Rad and also with Jack Hammer on his channel. Appreciate each and every one of you, and go Niners.